Good evening, San Antonio. As we head throughout the rest of your Sunday evening, still be advised we are still watching that chance of some elevated fire danger for most of us across South Central Texas, going from San Antonio through Medina County all the way up to College Station, because we're still seeing those gusty winds and those low relative humidity values. And with the fire chances and the fire danger, it's because we've had little to no rain. Everything's been able to dry out so quickly, and we've still been seeing those warm and dry conditions with really no relief in sight. But if you're hoping for some cooler temperatures, you just have to wait till tomorrow. Most of us across San Antonio are expected to be waking up in the 50s. 59 degrees is expected to be our low temperature tomorrow morning for San Antonio. Even in the hill country, maybe waking up in the low 50s for some.
Early voting starts tomorrow. Where do you stand on whether to help fund a new Spurs arena? We talk with people on both sides about their effort to win your vote.
And the Frost Bank is helping customers catch every slam dunk. How you can get your hands on a new checking account that helps you get close with Spurs. Plus, those who want to be U.S. citizens will have to throw out the old study book soon when a new citizenship exam will be rolled out.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
It's the talk of the town. Should Bexar County help fund a new Spurs arena? It's one of the biggest questions that Bexar County residents will get the chance to decide on starting tomorrow morning when early voting begins. Garrett Berringer has been talking with volunteers on both sides. Garrett, what have they been telling you?
Well, the first thing to know, JP, is that every Bexar County voter will have an opportunity to weigh in on Prop B tomorrow. That's the question of whether the county should kick in up to $311 million using its venue tax to help fund a $1.3 billion arena. Now, you can tell by that math, this is just one leg of the funding scheme, but the others fall apart if this doesn't pass. So this whole deal, at least as it currently stands, is riding on tomorrow's vote.
Do you all have a minute? Are you Bexar County residents?
On the eve of early voting, Prop B opponents were out knocking on doors, trying to convince people to vote against helping to fund a new Spurs arena.
So what's the sales pitch that you give them?
Great question. Sales pitch tends to be, we are telling folks about Prop B. It will use $311 million of a county venue tax, and we just think that money could go towards other projects in the city. That's a large sum of money, and there wasn't really public input on how it would be spent. Voters were just kind of told it will go to a stadium.
The arena is a key part of the city's wider plans for a sports and entertainment district, known as Project Marvel.
There have been a few who have never heard of it, but once you say Project Marvel, they're aware.
On the other side, supporter Rob Clifford said he's been talking with his neighbors as he makes his rounds as a Democratic precinct chair.
I mean, certainly I share my opinions, and I share the information from the YAS team. When you look at what the benefits of the stadium and the whole proposition, the way the basic terms are laid out, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
The county venue tax on hotel stays and car rentals is one part of the funding picture. The city's share of up to $489 million would be backed by special tax capture districts and lease payments from the Spurs and developers, while the team would kick in at least $500 million.
Real quickly, we're just passing on information as it relates to Prop B. Okay.
The campaigns aren't just block walking either. We've seen mailers and text messages. But how will it all sway people? Recent polling showed more likely voters were against the arena funding than were for it. But also quite a few people just weren't sure yet. We'll find out which way they fall in just over 2 weeks.
Now, early voting starts tomorrow, Monday morning, and it lasts through Halloween. And then, of course, Election Day itself is on November 4th. You can cast a ballot any of those days. Now, if you still need to make up your mind, we've got lots of information on both Prop B and a related ballot measure, Proposition A, on our website, KSAT.com. You can find our reporting on there to help you get the facts you need to make up your mind. Live outside the election office, I'm Garrett Berringer, KSAT 12 News.
Garrett, thank you. And early voting for the upcoming election kicks off tomorrow, as we mentioned, October 20th. Here on your screen, you can see important election dates. You can also scan the QR code on your screen for all you need to know about the November 4th election. Again, voters will decide on two propositions, both related to the San Antonio Spurs' potential relocation to downtown. New on the Nightbeat, the city of Schertz has announced that Place 7 City Council member Tim Brown has died. According to the city, Brown was elected to Place 7 in 2018 and owned a real estate company with his wife, Nancy. Before city council, Brown was the president of the Schertz Economic Development Corporation and served 28 years in the Air Force Special Forces. Schertz said details of the funeral and memorial service will be shared as they become available. Also new tonight, a man was arrested after allegedly threatening to kill No Kings demonstrators on social media. San Antonio police say 66-year-old Robert Flores made multiple posts on Threads threatening violence against people who attended yesterday's No Kings protest. He is charged with making a terroristic threat, a third-degree felony. Flores was booked into the Bexar County Jail and has since been released. An update to a story we brought you yesterday. A man accused of shooting at San Antonio police officers now faces multiple charges and a hefty bond. 58-year-old Richard Esbell is accused of firing at officers. All of this during an attempted burglary of a storage unit on the northwest side near Fredericksburg Road and Wurzbach Road. Officers say they found Esbell inside one of the units and that Esbell shot at officers when they confronted him. Then one of the officers returned fire, hitting Esbell. He was taken to the hospital for treatment and currently faces 4 counts of aggravated assault. According to KSAT's count, this is the 13th time an SAPD officer has shot a suspect this year. A 4-year-old is in the hospital and an adult is fighting for their life after a high-speed crash. It happened this morning around 3 a.m. at South San Marcos and South Laredo streets. According to San Antonio police, a woman was speeding through that intersection where she then crashed into another car. The woman's car then caught fire after the crash. Police say a 4-year-old child was in the passenger seat of the speeding vehicle and was not secure in that seat. The child has been taken to the hospital in critical condition. The driver of the car that was hit was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police arrested the woman on charges of intoxicated assault and endangering a child. And taking a look at live cam, it's been the story for weeks now. The heat continues well into October.
And I know a lot of people want to hear at least a little bit of a different story, and we will see a little bit of a different story, JP, later on this week, as we're still seeing those multiple weak cool fronts move through South Texas. But the one that came through last night did give us some strong winds. We saw about 32-mile-an-hour winds at the San Antonio airport, almost 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts up in New Braunfels. And throughout the next few days, we will expect to see still some stronger winds gusting up to about 25 miles an hour on Thursday, giving some folks a little more of that hair dryer conditions. But if you're headed to school tomorrow, there's a few things you need to know. Temperatures in the morning might be a little cool. You might want to grab a quick jacket as you'll be waking up and getting out of the door in the 50s and 60s. In the afternoon, still in the 80s and 90s, but there's a change to the weather pattern, JP. I'll tell you what you need to know coming up in just a bit.
Looking forward to it, Shelby. The Spurs held their tip-off party just ahead of the start of the 2025 season today. And while the boys in silver and black will be making moves on the court, they're giving Frostbank customers the chance to make some moves with their money. The Spurs and Frostbank unveiled a new co-branded debit card. Cardholders will get discounts on Spurs tickets and merchandise inside the Frostbank Center, access to Frostbank Center events through the Frost Club, and will be entered into giveaways for tickets at games here and also up I-35 at the Moody Center in Austin. More information on the debit cards can be found on our website and also the Frostbank's website. Still ahead, they're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But where did they come from? Erica Hernandez tells us the history of the flour tortilla. And folks hoping to become U.S. citizens will have to brush up for a new kind of exam. Zaria Oates takes us through their new naturalization exam. That's coming up. A new era is set to begin for people looking to become naturalized U.S. citizens. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Office announced a new test will be administered for anyone applying for citizenship on or after Monday. The night team's Zaria Oates caught up with people around San Antonio who took a shot at answering a few of those questions on that test.
What's the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution.
How are changes made to the U.S. Constitution?
Voting.
The right answer is through amendments.
Why did the United States enter the Korean War?
Oh, I don't know that one.
The correct answer is to stop the spread of communism.
What is the form of government of the United States?
Democracy?
These are just a few of the questions anyone trying to become a naturalized U.S. citizen will need to study to prepare for the new exam. That's because U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced a new naturalization civics test for anyone applying on or after October 20th. It's a change that immigration attorney Marlene Moreno is not happy with.
It's definitely designed to make less people eligible, like to reduce the pool of people that will actually be able to become U.S. citizens.
The previous test questions came from a pool of 100 questions. A person would have needed to answer 6 questions correctly to pass. Yao Yao was one of those people.
Because I took it about 10 years ago for my citizenship, it wasn't that hard. And I only got 2 right out of, 10.
The 2025 version of the naturalization test will be a pool of 128 study questions. A person will be asked up to 20 questions. 12 correct is passing, or 9 wrong is failing, whichever comes first.
I don't think you should have to pass in order to be a citizen.
And how do you feel about these types of questions being on the citizenship test?
I think they're pretty basic.
A release from a USCIS spokesperson reads in part, quote, by ensuring only those aliens who meet all eligibility requirements, including the ability to read, write, and speak English and understand U.S. government and civics, are able to naturalize. The American people can be assured that those joining us as fellow citizens are fully assimilated and will contribute to America's greatness, end quote.
Obviously, I didn't know all of them, so does that mean I can't be a citizen anymore? Like if everybody had to take a test every year? And again, is it like testing where you're just memorizing the answers or like actually learning?
In a statement directly to KSAT, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said these critical changes are, quote, the first of many, end quote. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
I just kind of enjoyed the way that that young lady, the child, the girl there, when Zaria asked her, she goes, democracy? And the inflection went up. And she got it right. She got it right. So props to her. But I love how she was like, democracy?
That's how I feel when anytime someone asks me, is there going to be a cold front, like a cold front? And
You're
I'm
like, we're going to be
maybe?
89. We're going
Like,
to go
there's
from
always
93 to 89. We got a cool front.
I mean, there are small hints of some sort of cooler temperatures. I mean, the one that came through yesterday, you're waking up tomorrow morning feeling the cooler air. So there are going to be small hints over the next few days of some sort of cooler air, but we're watching another chance of another cool front later this week. But tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning, you're waking up sitting at about 59 degrees. We're going to see that low humidity. Some might still be seeing those breezier winds, so it might still be feeling even a few degrees cooler with a slight wind chill temperature. But in true Texas fashion, we're already near 80 degrees by lunchtime. Still seeing those gustier winds up to about 20 miles an hour in the afternoon. 90 degrees expected to be our peak temperature. So yes, that cool front came through last night into this morning. It's really only going to have a impact on our morning temperatures. I mean, 90 degrees in our afternoon. Yes, that is still above average, but that's similar to what we've been seeing, especially because today we still do continue to have a little bit of that elevated fire risk, at least throughout the next few hours, because we're still seeing some stronger winds and that low relative humidity. But you might be wondering, why are we seeing that chance of some fire danger? Well, here's why. We've seen little to no rain in San Antonio really over the last few months. We've had that area of high pressure just come and sit over South Texas, so everything's been able to dry out very quickly. And we've had that warm, dry weather just sit and continue. And really, that's allowed our drought conditions to get worse with no relief in sight. Tomorrow, yes, there is still a high chance for some folks just to the east of San Antonio, but really, it's just a moderate chance tomorrow. And that's just due to the low relative humidity values and the stronger winds still gusting up to about 20 miles an hour. Tomorrow's not going to be as great of a chance as what we saw today, but that chance is still there as that high pressure system is now moving closer to areas of San Antonio. But what we're watching is another chance of a weak front moving through this weekend. And with that, it's also bringing some rain chances, 30 to 20%, almost like a staircase as we go through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But with that cool front, we're not exactly expecting our temperatures to really decrease immensely. But with this cool front, we're also seeing that chance of rain continue to persist. Now, this is expected to be between about Friday afternoon to evening into Saturday morning. Here's just a snapshot of that low pressure system and that cool front bringing some rain to San Antonio, to Del Rio, all the way up to Waco and even into areas of Oklahoma. But here's the thing. It's still a week away, so things can change ever so slightly. We'll continue to keep you posted, and you'll want to check back with us, especially because we really want the cooler temperatures, and I know a lot of people are getting excited, especially because over the next 3 days, really not much of a change in the forecast, even over the next 7 days. Once again, the only change really is maybe a few chances of rain as we go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Maybe some cooler temperatures because of the rain. So I know a lot of people are excited about the 50s tomorrow morning and even the rain chances later next week.
I appreciate the optimism there. I just didn't like how you said maybe. Maybe some cooler temperatures. When are the cooler temperatures coming?
They will be coming shortly. You just have to be patient.
December 25th. We'll be waiting for it. Thank you for that. The heat has dominated South Texas, obviously, and that's exactly what the Cowboys did to the Commanders, a division opponent and rival.
Yes, and an injured team, too. They took care of business as they should have against Washington, and now just 1.5 games back of first place Philly in the NFC East. We'll show you the highlights and post-game reaction, and we're getting you ready for Monday Night Football tomorrow. The Texans visiting Seattle after the break. DB, the DB. Touchdowns came in all directions at AT&T Stadium today in big board sports. The Commanders visiting Arlington for a date with the Cowboys, who have CeeDee Lamb back after missing 3 games with an ankle injury. First quarter, Dallas up 10-8 on the first play of the drive. Dak Prescott launches a deep ball to Lamb. Right on cue, Lamb walks in the 74-yard touchdown. Things can't get much better for the Cowboys offense right now. Second quarter, Brandon Aubrey lines up for a 61-yard field goal. Aubrey splits the uprights. That's good for his 5th career-made field goal of 60-plus yards, an NFL record. Wow. All right, under a minute left in the first half, Jeremy McNichols gets the handoff. He bounces off defenders, and he's taken down just short of the goal line, and Jaden Daniels punched it in right after to make it 15-20. Now Dallas marches downfield, setting up a Jake Ferguson TD right before halftime. It was 27-15 Cowboys at the intermission. Now opening drive of the third, ball gets knocked out of Daniels' possession, and he's hurt on the play. He left the game for good. Jadeveon Clowney recovered the fumble, and Dallas scored off the turnover. Now Marcus Mariota in at QB. He's under pressure, doesn't know where to go, forces it, and DaRon Bland jumps the passing lane. That's a pick 6 for DaRon Bland, the ball hawk, and Dallas shuts out the Commanders in the fourth quarter to win 44-22. Dak threw 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams led Dallas on the ground while Lamb did through the air. Here's Dak after the win.
Yeah, it was great. It was explosive. It was fun. I mean, you saw the big plays. Saw some drives we put together. Yeah, our standard and expectations for ourselves is very high. And so we understand when we've got guys, the playmakers that we have, the offensive line, the love that we have for one another. And you see it in just the way that guys finish plays, guys cover the ball. And defense played very well tonight. When you do that, I think more of our games are going to look like this.
Well, it was a great day of football. Tomorrow night, though, the Texans will play their second latest game in franchise history, kicking off at 9 p.m. in Seattle. Entering Week 7, the Seahawks' 2 losses on the year have come at home. And in recent years, the Texans are hit or miss after a bye week. But despite a slow start this year, Houston is on a 2-game winning streak. And in the last 9 quarters, the Texans offense is averaging 400 yards per game. Now, defensively, Houston owns the top scoring defense in the league while only allowing 12.2 points per game. Here's DN Will Anderson Jr. on how the Texans see their identity on defense.
Overwhelming feeling of physicality and dominance from each level of the defense, man. It's just a swarm mentality. Everybody getting to the ball, all 11 has getting to the ball, punching at the ball, attacking the ball, and just creating just havoc everywhere on the field, no matter if it's interceptions, sacks, tackles for loss, tackles in general, man. Like, that's the type of pressure that we want offense to the field when they play our defense.
Well, they're facing a high-flying offense right now in Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Kickoff, a late one, 9 o'clock, so get your coffee ready. All right, it's time now to introduce you to our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Monica Wilson, presented by Christus Children's.
Hi, I'm Monica Wilson, and I'm from Southwest Legacy High School, and I'm this week's KSAT 12 Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Monica is a 4-year member and captain of the varsity tennis team. She's a member of the District 28 5A championship team and was named District MVP as a junior. She was named First Team All-District the last 2 years and Academic All-District since she was a sophomore. She's also a member of the National Society of Leadership and Success and Student Athlete Leadership Team. She performed community service through Titans Warriors and Daily Bread Ministries. Monica maintains a 4.0 GPA and is ranked 5th in her class. Monica plans to attend Austin College and major in psychology. Thanks, Monica, for being KSAT 12's Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Christus Children's.
Impressive stuff, Monica. Great job. And coming up later in the show, we're talking college football, Spurs, and our play of the week. You don't want to miss it.
Looking forward to it. And also, just going back to the Cowboys, everyone loves to give Jerry Jones some grief, and sometimes it might be deserved. But they made the right call by extending Deron Bland's contract there, making it pay off.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, he's important to that defense, that's for sure.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Mary. With a little creativity and time, you can find your Muertos Fest looks and Halloween costumes that belong on the runway. We take you to Muertos Fest fashion show after the break. And coming up, KSAT's Erica Hernandez visited a local expert to find out more about the flour tortilla and why it's so important to the culinary industry. It's something many of us love here in San Antonio, a warm, fresh flour tortilla. It's delicious and part of our culture, but do you know its history? Erica Hernandez visited one local expert to find out more about the flour tortilla and why it's so important to the culinary industry.
One of my fondest memories growing up was visiting my grandmother. I would grab one of her warm and fresh tortillas and roll it up with butter as a snack. That's my story with tortillas, but what is the story of the tortilla? I went to Dr. Ellen Riojas Clark, Professor Emerita of Bicultural Bilingual Studies at UTSA, to find out.
When the Spaniards come into the Americas and they brought wheat, some people say it's a lot of Jewish influence, Moorish influence, because of the fact that the Jewish couldn't eat corn. But flour, wheat, was something we could use. So with the insurgence of many different cultural groups into the Americas, the flour tortilla is born in the northern part of Mexico, and it has become a staple throughout the United States.
Today, tortillas are big business, generating more than $6.5 billion in annual revenue nationwide. They're now more popular than bagels, English muffins, or pita bread.
A tortilla has its own integrity. Its own integrity. You have to have a tortilla to put food in. Because otherwise, you can't pick it up and go.
For Ellen, making tortillas is an act of love, one passed down through generations.
What other food in the United States is made with such cariño?
So much heart put into it.
So much of it, exactly. And so I'm thinking as I do this, I'm thinking of all the grandmothers that have made tortillas de harina and have done it to supply their family with it. There's no other thing more beautiful than un taco con tortilla de harina, con frijoles, and a piece of bacon or chorizo con huevo.
And she says keeping that tradition alive is just as important today.
Doesn't take much to do it, just like you make Christmas cookies at one time. Take your kids and teach them about what it is, what a tortilla is. I think that for us to know who we are and why we are and what made us to be is the most important thing that we can teach. And as simple as a flour tortilla, it represents us, our contributions to the culinary arts.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
She said it herself, nothing beats a homemade, freshly made tortilla de harina, a flour tortilla. For more on the history of the flour tortillas and to watch Dr. Rijos Clark make her version of them, head over to KSAT.com. And taking a look at live cam, it's been a nice weekend. We've been dealing with the heat. We're hoping that changes sooner rather than later. But as we just talked about, Muertos Fest is coming up, Shelby.
Yes. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to going outside and doing all the outdoor activities. And there are a few things we're watching. Yes, the temperature itself will still be waking up in the 60s and peak temperature in the 80s and the 90s, but that's not the only thing. There might be some humidity associated with it, but what we're watching next Thursday and Friday is for the chance of a weak cool front to move through. Now, a cool front might not bring some cooler temperatures, but what it could bring that might impact Muertos Fest is some rain. But this is much needed rain for most of us across South Central Texas. We're still in that drought, but the timing could impact next week. I'll break down the futurecast coming up in just a bit.
Now to highlighting affordability and sustainability. That's what Goodwill San Antonio's fashion show at Muertos Fest has been about. Tara Costa gives us a sneak peek on what to expect this year and how you can get your Halloween costumes and Muertos Fest attire this week.
We've got our 60s, which is very Age of Aquarius, the sleeves.
This is real vintage.
This is real vintage. This was actually part of our show.
At any Goodwill San Antonio store, you can find real vintage at low prices that make authentic costumes, not just for Halloween, but also for Muertos Fest, happening October 24th through 26th.
Be creative and just kind of have fun with it. That's what it's about. The Muertos Fest is about being inclusive, remembering people that are past, and also giving thanks to the community because we're all a part of it.
Honoring those who have passed through creative, sustainable looks. It's what you can expect at Goodwill San Antonio's 5th annual fashion show at Muertos Fest on October 25th, starting at 5:40 p.m. at the Nueva stage. This year, Goodwill San Antonio is celebrating 80 years in the community. So the fashion show's theme is decades, which all the looks have been found in Goodwill stores.
A lot of this stuff is actually from the era. It's from the 80s, from the 70s, and when you go to the costume shop, you're buying stuff that's a reproduction. You're getting the real thing here.
So like an outfit like this would cost probably like...
Well, our tops start at $5.99. Our skirts start at $5.99 as well. Something like this probably will be about $9.99 to $12.99.
With a little creativity and time, you can find your Muertos Fest looks and Halloween costumes while helping people overcome barriers to employment.
And this is just another way to participate in community events and really show people that Goodwill is a place for you to find wonderful fashion while supporting our mission of changing lives through the power of work.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Students at New Braunfels ISD don't have access to check out books from their libraries right now. After the break, find out why the district is making that decision, what parents are saying about it. Also, we know you watched the Cowboys dominate, but what about the games you didn't watch this weekend? Mayor Rominger has what you need to know, and you're not going to want to miss her play of the week. Welcome back, and you're going to want to check this out. Allison, a patient at Christus Children's living with dysautonomia, got to live her dream thanks to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. A huge Jonas Brothers fan, she attended their San Antonio concert with her family yesterday and even got VIP meet and greet passes to meet the band. Despite the challenges of her condition, Allison's positivity inspires many, and this special experience brought her and her family joy and hope. Not to mention that I heard the concert was pretty good in itself. Students at New Braunfels ISD don't have access to check out books from their libraries right now. That's because the district is reviewing all of its library materials to make sure they line up with the standards of a new state law, Senate Bill 13. The district says the law requires school libraries materials to be free of anything that is considered to be harmful, indecent, or profane content. Those exact definitions are explained in the law, and KSAT's Madeline Lambert is breaking that down for us. She also sat down with parents who say they're frustrated with the decision from the district.
How can you shut down a library in a middle school during the school year?
That's what students at New Braunfels ISD are experiencing right now. The Board of Trustees voted on Monday to suspend student access to libraries for secondary schools.
The district says it's going to review their current books and resources to make sure they are compliant with Senate Bill 13.
They are looking to make sure their library materials are free of any content that may be indecent, harmful, or profane. In short, the law defines those terms as material that's sexually inappropriate for minors or patently offensive.
Amy Payne is a New Braunfels ISD parent who is worried about how the new law is censoring books students should have a choice to read.
If a child goes into a library, they have the option to look at books, hold books, open them up, look at them, and choose, do they want that book or do they not? That's part of learning critical thinking.
The district currently has more than 195,000 books and resources, and they're going to close their libraries to review all of them. They didn't say how long that may take.
Senator Angela Paxton, who wrote SB 13, has repeatedly said this bill is to protect students from sexually explicit material.
No child should pick up a book in their school library, of all places, and see sexually explicit, harmful material within its pages. Their young brains cannot unsee what they have seen.
Clay Robson with the Texas State Teacher Association believes the suspension of libraries at New Braunfels ISD is unnecessary.
But to shut down student access to library books where they can review every book that's on the shelves is an overreach and a disruption, an unnecessary disruption of the educational process.
New Braunfels ISD stated that the district does not intend to permanently close its libraries, but students will not have access to them during the review.
We also try to sit down with New Braunfels ISD superintendent to learn more about this process, but she was unavailable by the time this aired. Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
And this Halloween, South Texas Blood and Tissue is urging everyone to face a real fright. Blood shortages in our community. To make donating a little more fun, they're giving a special giveaway with a Halloween t-shirt that says, "I need blood." It's only blood. But there's a catch. You have to donate on a Wednesday or Thursday to get one. These shirts are limited, so if you want one, don't wait. So don't ghost your community. That's a Halloween pun for you there this Halloween. But be a blood donor and help save lives. To book your appointment, head over to southtexasblood.org. Welcome back. Your time, 10:45. It's the story of October. We have the dog days of summer. We have the dog days of October here in South Texas. And it kind of continues, but maybe a little bit better to start the week.
I mean, our afternoon temperatures are going to continue, but that cool front that came through last night to give us that hair dryer effect today, it did bring some relief for our morning temperatures. Take a look at what you'll be waking up tomorrow morning. 59 degrees expected at the San Antonio airport. And although most of us are going to be sitting in the 50s, maybe a few in the 60s, it definitely will be feeling nicer. I mean, this evening, if you're stepping out the door, it already feels nicer still at about 10:46 p.m. Now, tomorrow afternoon, we are expecting to see most of the temperatures continue, and even overnight tonight into tomorrow, those temperatures will continue to dip. 59 degrees expected tomorrow morning, but throughout the next few mornings over the next week or so, expect the temperatures to go back to what they were in the 60s. Except this weekend and next weekend, I should say, about Friday. That's when we're watching for another cool front to move through, bringing our morning temperatures back to the mid to low 60s, maybe even a few 50s for folks in the hill country. But that's because of another weak cool front moving through, not giving us the 50s, the widespread 50s everyone wants to know, and really to give us the cooler temperatures. But it will give us some rain chances. So here's what we're watching. As we go throughout Thursday night and throughout the day on Thursday and Friday morning, a low pressure system will form to the north, and with that we'll have a cool front moving through Texas. That will move through Friday night into Saturday morning. It could have a slight impact on Muertos Fest, so you will want to check back with us. It's an ever so changing forecast, especially because this is almost a week out. So things can change ever so slightly, but as that cool front continues to move through, there could still be a few showers possible Saturday afternoon and even on Sunday, as there's just going to be some excess moisture sitting in South Texas. Now, how much rain? Well, yes, there is some areas that might be receiving more rain than others. As I take the little query just towards College Station, we see that bullseye up to 4 inches. Closer to San Antonio, we might not expect 4 inches, but we might expect a good inch to inch and a half just to the west, closer to Del Rio or even towards Uvalde. They might see a little less rain, and near the coastal plains where they normally see a few more inches of rain, they might receive a little less. But this is an ever so changing forecast. You will want to check back with us. We'll continue to keep you posted, but any rain is good rain. Even at a 30 to 20 to even 10% chance of rain next week, it is still something that I know a lot of people are excited for, not only for Muertos Fest, but also for the rain chances. So we'll keep you posted on if you have to bring an umbrella to any of the events.
Focus on the lows if you're looking at that screen.
Tomorrow morning specifically.
We'll endure the heat, and hopefully when the winter weather comes, we'll enjoy it. Thanks for that, Shelby. Taking a look over at college football, Texas A&M is the real deal. I know your family's probably excited about that.
Oh, they are absolutely thrilled.
Me being a little bit of a cynic, I was like, when is it going to fall apart? But they just continue to win games.
Yep, overcoming adversity, proving that they can dominate games. It's really incredible. And in the most recent case, outlasting Arkansas. They're staying on that upward trajectory, and coming up, we're going to show you all the Texas programs who are in the latest AP college football poll. And the Spurs are primed for opening night in Dallas. We also have our play of the week. It's a great one. Don't miss it after the... Welcome back. Yesterday was a wild college football Saturday. The Texas Longhorns, despite only having 179 total yards, beat Kentucky 16-13 in OT to improve to 5-2. Now the Longhorns moved down a spot in the latest AP poll to 22. Texas Tech, without starting QB Baron Morton, was upset by Big 12 foe Arizona State 26-22. Tech falls to 6-1, and now they're 14th in the nation. Meanwhile, Texas A&M outlasted Arkansas 45-42 for its first 7-0 start since 1994. They are now up to number 3 in the country. Well, the Spurs wrapped up an inspired 5-0 preseason run on Friday, defeating the Pacers. Victor Wembanyama's offseason work was on display. He leveled up his game for sure. The Spurs also have promising rookies, and they are deep this year. So despite the fact that De'Aaron Fox, Jeremy Sohan, and Lindy Waters III won't be available for opening night, San Antonio should be able to fill the holes until they return. Now, most importantly, the Spurs looked like they were having fun out on the hardwood during exhibition play.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, you know. It's even though it was a hard game, it felt like, for the first part of the game, it felt like we played together as a team and everybody was having fun, you know. So we need to grow with this, you know. We need to expand this.
It all begins on Wednesday. The Spurs will embark on their 82-game season journey, starting in Dallas against the Mavericks. Tip-off is at 8:30 on Wednesday, and the KSAT 12 sports team will be there with live reports, so stay tuned right here on KSAT 12 and KSAT Plus. All right, it's time now to hit the road with our Ensir Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week.
Shohei Ohtani! Wow! Up and over the roof! A majestic blast! Ohtani dropped jaws everywhere!
I mean, how can you not be romantic about baseball? Just incredible stuff that we're seeing in this modern era. This isn't just the play of the week, it's also the greatest performance, arguably, of all time in the postseason. Otherworldly Japanese two-way star Shohei Ohtani hit 3 home runs. Meanwhile, struck out 10 batters in 6 innings pitched to get the win for the Dodgers, completing the sweep of Milwaukee in the NLCS. Showtime Ohtani, you get our Sear Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram play of the week. I'm a huge Brian Anderson fan on the call, so to hear his call for a really incredible performance was awesome.
You know I'm an Astros fan, so I'm not going to say too much.
I mean, you have
but
to appreciate it.
You got to respect.
We've never seen this before.
You got to respect when they're good, and obviously that's incredible play throughout the entire game. And Freddie Freeman's reaction there in the dugout, hands overhead in shock, was it's always awesome to see pro athletes be impressed by other pro athletes.
Agreed.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Mary. We'll be right back.